side for like last 6 years or so, specifically in the Salesforce domain, whether it's Salesforce Marketing Cloud or Pardot. And a quick introduction about myself. I'll just put it on a presenter mode. Yeah. So today we are going to talk about Marketing Cloud account engagement. Basically, it's renamed the Pardot. It was earlier called as Pardot, but now it's renamed to Marketing Cloud account engagement. And a bit of overview, which I think has been already covered by John. I'm working as a senior consultant for Capgemini Australia, and I've also been a part of the Salesforce Marketing Champion as well. And I'm a 7-time Salesforce certified person. And apart from this, I do a lot of, I've been doing these sessions with multiple groups in my past experience as well. I have done, and now again I'm doing with the Kanyakumari group. Uh, if anyone has got any queries related to Pardot or let's say Marketing Cloud, even you can reach out to me, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm mostly active on LinkedIn, not on other social platforms. So yeah, that's the best way to reach out to me if you want to. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. Okay, so today what I'll be covering is there are like few topics which I'm going to cover. First is the what basically the marketing automation platform Salesforce provides. Okay, there are multiple. Then a little bit of a marketing cloud, what Salesforce Marketing Cloud is and who should be using it. The same goes for the Salesforce account engagement, basically Salesforce Marketing Cloud account engagement, that's Pardot. And then I'll walk you through the Pardot instance. Okay, so where I've mentioned demo. So basically I'll be, taking you to the Pardot instance, and we will be looking at different functionalities or the features, the main features I would, try to cover as many as I can today. And I'll also talk a little bit on the path, okay, the learning path and the certifications which you can actually do, whether it's Pardot or Marketing Cloud. So I have a slide which would give you an idea of, for which particular path you should go for, and based on your interest, you can just go through that piece as well. So without taking any further time, I'll quickly move to the next slide. So basically, I'm pretty sure we have a mixed audience. So I'll be starting from the very beginning. What marketing automation, basically what is marketing automation, right? So marketing automation is nothing but a software which helps you customize your journeys and, make your work easy, reach out to your customers, send them automated emails, a different kind of communications, could be emails, SMS, the push notifications, etc. Right? Now, what Salesforce marketing automation is basically what all platforms or what all softwares does Salesforce provides you. Okay, like there are different clouds which Salesforce has. Salesforce got Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Health Cloud, etc. But Salesforce also provides you with two marketing automation platforms or softwares. That's the first one is basically the Marketing Cloud, and the other one is the Pardot. Okay. Now, those who are aware, the core of Salesforce is basically the CRM piece, right? That's where the core lies for Salesforce. That's your CRM. And the two platforms which are related to the automation, the marketing automation, that's Marketing Cloud and Pardot. So Marketing Cloud is mostly used by companies or customers who have a B2C model. Okay. That's the main point which you have to remember, right? If you are implementing, just see whether it's a B2B model or a B2C model. Account engagement, that's Pardot, is mostly focused or sold on the basis of a B2B model. If a company or a customer has got a B2B model, then you go with the Pardot platform. Now, we know what CRM does. In CRM, you actually have all the data. You store all your customer information, their data, everything, right? Now, what is B2C? Basically, B2C is basically when you are reaching when a business to consumer, right? So when you are directly selling it to your consumer. So for example, these e-commerce websites, right? Most of them are your B2C. They, the basically your, for example, if you're buying something from Amazon directly, okay, let's say Amazon is the creator of that particular product and sending you, right? So that's a B2C. You are the consumer. But if you talk about Amazon Marketplace, okay, where let's say people like us, like I'm selling something, or somebody's selling something and I'm buying it from that person because it's somebody else's business. So I'm going to buy it from them. So that's going to be a B2B model. So Amazon Marketplace actually uses a B2B model. Okay, so this is just an example. and even they use Pardot. So Amazon Marketplace actually uses Pardot for their uh, marketing automations. I think they also have a success story on the Salesforce website they had a few years back. I'm not sure if it's still available or not, but yeah, it was there.
Thanks.
Now,
Sorry for interrupting. Your
yeah.
slide is not changing. Can you please check that?
Uh, which slide can you see right now?
It is first slide I am seeing.
Okay,
It is changed now. Thank you.
okay. Is it visible on the presenter
Uh,
mode? Can you see it now?
yes, yes.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I was talking about this particular slide. Uh, so basically, our core is the sales for CRM. Then we have got Marketing Cloud. That's the SFMC. That's a B2C model. If you want to do a B2C kind of a marketing setup, if you want to do, you can use Marketing Cloud. And then for B2B models, you can actually go for Pardot. But that's not something which is fixed. You can always try to adjust based on the requirements, right? So it's not like very necessary that you have to, if it's a B2C, you always have to go with Marketing Cloud, or if it's a B2B, you always have to go with Pardot. These things can be changed. It's like both the platforms can work in both the manners, right? It depends on what kind of communication you want to do and how you want to do it. So these things can be changed. So even I've seen customers using Marketing Cloud as a for B2B purposes, and even they have used Pardot for B2C purposes as well. So those things can be done. It's not fixed that you always have to select these tools for this particular purpose, but it's still manageable. Okay, there will be some limitations, or the architecture might get a bit complex, but these things can be done or achieved. uh, Moving on to the next slide. So basically, I have just got a screenshot for you guys to showcase on the Marketing Cloud side. So this is a very, as soon as you log into Marketing Cloud, right? So this is basically the screen which loads when you log into Marketing Cloud. So Marketing Cloud has got multiple, studios or builders. You have got email studio, you've got mobile studio, social studio. I think that's decommissioned or getting retired, but it's already retired. Then you've got Marketing Cloud advertising. Then you've got web studio, personalization. Then you've got analytics builder, journey builder, content builder, audience builder, Einstein app exchange, and platform. So there are like many things in Marketing Cloud. Marketing Cloud is a bigger tool, okay? Whereas Pardot is not that big when it comes to the functionalities or features, because Marketing Cloud is mostly when you are planning to use different communication channels, different channels on how you want to reach out to your customers, how you want to segment them. You can just do a lot of things in Marketing Cloud which are not available in Pardot. But still, the purpose of both the tools is different. So we will just focus on how we are going to use Pardot if you want to. Moving on to the next one. So this is Pardot, or now it is called as Marketing Cloud Account Engagement. So basically, this is one of the screenshots which I have, pulled it here and added. So when you log into basically the Pardot instance, right? Now Pardot instance is embedded on the Salesforce core itself, that is CRM. Okay, like few years back, if I have to say, Pardot was a standalone platform. Like right now, Marketing Cloud is a standalone platform. A few years back, Pardot was also a standalone platform. You could just use Pardot separately. You don't have to get the CRM or anything, so you could have used it. But now it comes on your CRM itself, so you have to get those licenses, get it enabled, and you can use it. So even the interface, if you see, that's similar to your Lightning Salesforce CRM now. So you can see all these different tabs at the top, all these app launcher, all the stuff. If you look at it, earlier it was a way different stuff. So this is one of the very the first screens. When you log into Pardot, you land up on this particular screen. Okay. Now what I'll do is uh, the next piece is I'll walk you through the Pardot instance. So I'll just get the demo screen up for now. Just give me a second. I'll quickly bring the demo screen. Okay, let me know once it's
Yes, it is visible.
okay, great. So this is basically the screenshot which I had on the slide as well. So you can see as soon as you log into Pardot, so basically, from here, once you are into your production org, that's the CRM, right? So login.salesforce.com, you just go here, search for account engagement, okay? And this once you click on this app, that's basically your Pardot here, okay? So you've got different tabs. You can see dashboard, prospect, campaigns, automations, account engagement, emails, right? Content. Then you've got reports. Then you've got settings. Then you've got campaigns as well, right? So you've got many things going here. Now this is basically your dashboard screen. So dashboard, there are few things which you can actually see here. One is your all prospects. Okay, so prospect is somebody who has shared some information with you. Okay, so there are few terminologies in Pardot, or let's say in generic terms, if I have to say in marketing terminologies. Okay, you have got visitor. Okay, that's somebody who is anonymous. Okay, who has not shared that information, or let's say, I go to any of the websites, I just scroll through those websites. Okay, you will not know who has visited your website, right? That's a visitor basically. Till the time you don't know my name, email address, or any of my information, I'm a visitor for you. If you don't have got any of insights, okay, this person is visiting my website. If you don't have any information of mine, that means I'm a visitor for you. Okay, as soon as I fill out a form on your website, okay, let's say you've got a contact us form, or subscription form or anything. As soon as I fill out my name or my email address and I submit that form, you get my PII information. Okay, so basically that from that information, you can identify, okay, this person has got, his name is Prashant, this is his email address, then these are the interest or whatever information I've shared with you. You get to know, okay, this person is interested in these different things. Okay, so as soon as you submit that form, you become a prospect. In Pardot terminology, you become a prospect. Okay, so first is a visitor, then you become a prospect. Now, in this screen, you can see we have got all prospects, right? So you can see how many prospect I had from this particular, that's 22nd of April till today, right? So you can see the data here. So I had zero prospects till 26th, and if I move up here, I can see 17 prospects getting created, and then I've, they're still in the prospect stage. The number is still 70. But a little bit of information here also you can see. So here it says prospects created. So these are the total prospects created. That's 19. Okay, these numbers will change as soon as you get more prospects. You've got some conversions, then you've got opportunities as well, and these details, right? Now I'll discuss a lot about prospects in different tabs which I've opened in my browser as well. So we'll walk through those. Then we have got marketing calendar. So let's say, for example, if I want to send an email to my customer, or I want to run a campaign, I can just create an event here and I can just put it as a calendar. So as soon as I log in, I get to see it on my screen itself. Okay, I have to send this campaign or these EDMs to these many people. You can just create a EDM, like a notification, or let's say an event in my Pardot instance in the marketing calendar. And as soon as I log in, I can see, okay, this task needs to be done. I can just go and do that. Then if I scroll down, you will see a little bit of active prospects for review. So this section gives me the information of a few of the active prospects who have been recently active. Okay, let's say if you see this green icon, this basically shows, okay, this person was recently active. See, if you look at the date, it says inactive since 27th of April, right? So I was recently active. I'm not currently active on your website or anywhere, but I was available, or I was online, let's say yesterday. Okay, it's a light green color. Once it's a bit of different green color, that's a bit of dark green color. So that is basically that person is active right now. I'll show that information to you in the prospect tab once I go there. So basically, these are the information where you can see, okay, these are your active prospects in the last few days, and which company they basically belong to, if they have shared that information with you while filling out that particular form or somewhere, right? So this is how the Pardot instance actually looks like. Okay, when you work on Pardot, so this is how you will see all this information. Now, what I'll do is I'll move to the next tab. So basically, the next tab is the prospects tab. I have a window open for prospects. So once I click on the prospect tab here, I get all these information: prospects, leads, contact, visitors. What I was saying is basically somebody visiting your website, but they haven't given you the information. They haven't shared any of the information. So that's a visitor data which you get. So basically, in the visitors, I'm not sure if I will be able to show this, but yeah, you will get this information. You know, the page views, how many page views were there for today. You can just adjust the date range. You can see new visitors today, percentage, all this information. But I don't know who these people are, or who these new 7 visitors were, because I haven't asked them to fill any of the details, right? Or basically, they haven't filled out my form. So basically, once they fill out the form, they become a prospect. So as soon as somebody fills out a form, or let's say if I have got a list of, my prospects or people I already know from, let's say, my previous database or wherever, let's say if I'm doing a migration, I know, okay, these are my customers or consumers who I need to reach out to. I can also upload as a CSV file in Pardot and create them as a prospect directly. That's also possible. I can do an import, or if they're filling out a form, that data directly flows into my Pardot, or even from, let's say, you can get data from your CRM as well. So you can sync data from CRM and push it. So that's multiple things are possible if, when you want to create a prospect or work with the prospects. So, for example, this is the prospect, right? You can see. Okay, let me just go back. I'll show you a few things here. So, these are my prospects which are currently in my system. Okay, so you can see I've got a prospect for my name. You can see a light green color here. That's like I was, active, let's say, a few days back or sometime. Now, in this particular prospect, you can see it has got a green color as well as a blue cloud, the CRM cloud. Okay. So basically, this particular prospect has been synced to my CRM. Okay. First thing is this person was active some time back. The second is this person is already available or has got the information synchronized into my sales cloud currently, or the CRM. Okay. This cloud basically identifies, it's an identifier for that. If I click on this, I can actually see whether it's a lead or a contact. Okay, once we sync it. The red one is basically this person is like inactive for a very long time. They were a prospect initially, but now they haven't logged in, or they haven't come onto your website or the landing page which you have created for a very long time. So these are the red ones. You can see these red icons. Okay. Now, for example, if I open this one, see, you can see the name of the particular prospect, the icon that this person is a part of the CRM as well, whether it's a lead or contact. Then you can see the email address. You can see this green icon. That means this person is mailable. And then the company name. There is no account associated, so that's no account mentioned. Then you've got source campaign. You've got conversion point as well. So conversion point was this particular landing page. This particular landing page had a form which was completed by test data 24th, and they got created or converted here. You can see the conversion date as well. You can see the status that's mailable, whether the email is unique or not. You can see these details, whether they have opted out, do not email, all this information related to the mailability. Okay, hardbound, softbound. So these generic marketing terminologies you can actually see here. Now the insights. Okay, if I go to the insights, you can see something called as score. Okay, these different scores. So Pardot has got a couple of very important things, that's scoring and grading. I'll talk about this in the later part. So these are basically the scoring part. So grade, we haven't assigned any grade to this person, so that's not here. You can see the assigned user. So this is assigned to me. So basically, this was a prospect, and now it's a lead or a contact in CRM, and it's assigned to me. Okay. Assignment date, you can see the notes as well. So what notes I have added, so that once the assigned user logs in, they should know, okay, you need to do a catch up, or you can just have a bit of a note added, okay, we need to catch up for this particular thing or whatever. And then you can see if there are any additional fields which you might have mapped with your uh, CRM, right? So there must be like a number of fields in your CRM which you have mapped with your prospect. The lead fields are mapped to the prospect fields. So you can actually see what all data you have. So you can see my lead ID. So basically for this particular test data, this particular prospect of yours, this is the lead ID. This prospect is a lead with this particular ID in my CRM. Okay. Or if it was a contact, you will see a contact ID here. You can see CRM record type is a lead. These values change. So basically if it's a lead, it will give you a lead here and it will give you the ID. If it's a contact, it will show contact here and it will give you the contact ID here. So you can directly go and search in your CRM as well. Okay. And on the right side, you can see what all activities this prospect has performed. Okay, so here you will only see they have filled this form multiple times because this is a demo or got a so that's the reason you will see a bit of testing which was done. So most of the time you will see like I have created a form and I'm using it just for fulfilling purpose. That's it. I'm not sending any emails to this particular prospect. Nothing is being done. But yes, I'm, this particular prospect is filling out my forms. Now, I can also see a lot of information from this particular tab. Okay. So basically, you can see list. Okay. There is a tab for list. So this basically shows that how many list this particular prospect is part of. Okay, so what is list? When we say, so list is basically you have got uh, two types of list in Pardot. One is a static, the other one is a dynamic. So what is a static list? Static list is nothing but a simple list. You just create a list, put all the data, that's it, you dump it into that particular list. Okay, without any filters or criteria. That's a very basic list. Okay, that's a static list. If you want to do, let's say, a monthly newsletter, okay, you just upload a list and just send it out, that's it. But the other list which I'm talking about is the dynamic list. So what dynamic list is? Dynamic list is something which uses different criterias. Okay, for example, you have got a lot of prospects in your Pardot instance. Okay, now what happens next time, if you want to create a dynamic list, so for example you have to run a campaign or you want to send emails only to people who have who are living in USA. Okay, so what you are going to do is, that's a very specific requirement because you might have prospects from all over the world. Could be India, US, UK, Australia, wherever. So now how do you get specific US database, right? That is where dynamic list will help you. So basically in dynamic list, you have to create criteria. You have to mention, okay, if the prospect country is USA, then add them to this list. All that data gets created. So for that particular dynamic list, that is your criteria. You define that filter or the criteria that the country of that prospect should be USA. As soon as you do that, in your database, in your Pardot database, all the prospects with that, or those who fulfill that data, get added to that particular dynamic list, and you can use that dynamic list for sending purposes. So if you want to do any campaign specific to US, you can do that. If you want to do any newsletter specific to US, you can do that as well. So that is where you use the dynamic list. If there is any specific criteria or multiple criteria also, you can add. Okay, so that's possible. But in static list, you just upload a list. There are no filters, which means it's going to be sent to everyone who is a part of that list. So in this particular prospect, I can see this particular prospect is a part of these two lists, monthly newsletter and the customers list. I can add more list as well if I want to from here itself if I want. Okay. Then you can see profile. So basically, this is how I can get the. You can see this C level, right? Uh, So this is related to the grading part. Since we don't have that grading added, so I just move to the next one. Yeah, I don't see other values as well. Now activities is similar to what we saw on the overview side, right? So overview you saw on the right side. These activities, these all these activities can be seen under this activities tab as well. But the additional things you can see is the IP address, the date and time. So you can see all these different things coming up, these different campaigns coming up as well. I think for me, the most important part on the prospect, level is the audits tab. Okay, this is where you get to know a lot of information about this prospect. And even if you want to, troubleshoot something, if there is any error or anything happens, like we have got audit trails in our CRM, the Salesforce CRM as well, right? So this is where basically you can see, okay, who changed that value or how that value was changed, right? See, you can see, for example, the assignment was changed by Prashant to Prashant again, but who did it, right? Who was the source? So I only did it. Yeah, and you can see these old values like, okay, the first name earlier was blank, and then as soon as they filled it, this was the test data. How it got created from the web tracking. Basically, this is one of the uh, pages where I have a form, so they have got it from there. So if you want to troubleshoot anything, let's say if somebody goes and changes the number of this particular prospect, okay, so you will get that information. Okay, who has done it? Okay, so at least whether it was done by, let's say, the prospect themselves, or it was somebody who was using Pardot might have done it mistakenly. So you can understand and analyze that information from here and troubleshoot those details. So this is one of the most important tabs in Pardot at a prospect level. Yeah. Okay, so these values, I think these are the automation rules. Yeah, I'll talk about this engagement studio programs later on. I think the life cycle is basically it shows, okay, when this prospect first visited and whether they was anonymous, and then they just filled out a form. Then they kept on increasing the, if you can see the activity, they kept, you can see they have, look at their activity, the 27th, it increased to this level. It's now it's constant here. So these are different values, and you can see these, marketing terminology like MQLs, SQLs. Okay, so like I told you, first is the visitor, then the prospect. After your prospect, right? Pardot, you use Pardot to nurture your consumers or the customers, basically. Okay, so from here, MQLs are basically you're assigned to. As soon as you assign a prospect, like you saw for this particular prospect, right? That it was assigned to Prashant. So what's happening here is that as soon as this was got assigned to Prashant, that prospect got converted to MQL. Okay. Now what happens as soon as you assign it? Basically, you are creating a lead in your CRM. So the steps involved here are like, once you have a prospect, obviously you will try to nurture them. You will try to reach out to them. You will try to send them their relevant content which they are interested in. Once you see, okay, this person is responding or is opening my emails or is clicking on the links which are available in my emails, or the CTAs is filling out different forms on my website, then you think, okay, this might be a genuine person. Then you start involving your marketing team. Okay, let's assign this person, because once you qualify, MQL is basically marketing qualified lead. Okay, so you have got some thresholds. Okay, if this person is interacting this much with my content, he or she might be, they might be very interested in the products or what we are doing. So what happens then? You assign it to one of your marketing persons, right? As soon as you assign it, that becomes a lead in your CRM, and you can actually say, okay, now the sales team can reach out to this person because you have got their email address, you have got their phone number, or whatever information you wanted. Or you can even ask them for more information by creating different forms, capture more information, try to narrow down what they're actually looking for, and move forward. Once that gets done, your sales team will reach out to them. Then they will follow up with that particular person. And if they think, okay, this is an opportunity, they'll go and create an opportunity in the CRM itself. And once the opportunity gets created, the same life cycle follows of the conversion, right? Whether it's a one opportunity or a lost opportunity, based on those criteria, the data would sync back, whether it's a a good opportunity for you, whether you have won that opportunity or you have lost it. So that's all this data. Basically, this is the flow of Pardot, how different stages work. Okay. Now, I think the opportunities tab, I don't think I should have a data here, but yeah. So once in the CRM, an opportunity for this particular prospect will get created, it will start showing here as well. But on the Pardot side, that's a read only part of opportunity. Okay, I cannot go and create any opportunities here. The opportunities which are created in the CRM for this particular prospect will sync here. That's it. I can only view them. I cannot make any edits. This is very important. Okay. Now, so this was an overview of the prospect level. Okay. Now, I think the next one is the most important part, or let's say one of the important parts or the main features is the communication, right? How you're going to reach out to your customers. That's basically part that provides you by default or the out of the box is the emails. You can create different type of emails here. So you can actually create templates as well. You can create emails, and then you can do A/B testing as well. And yeah, so under the account engagement email tab, you can see multiple options here. You can see draft emails created, you can see scheduled ones, you can do send emails, you can have A/B testing done as well. Okay, you can create templates, you can do testing. Then you've got, these are basically related to the preference page and unsubscribe, basically your where you are going to capture your customers preferences, or whether they're interested in receiving more of your emails communication or not. Okay, the unsubscribe pages, then engagement studio and segmentation list. These are basically segmentation list, as we have already talked, right? There are two type of lists in Pardot: static and dynamic. So you can access it from here as well. So there are different ways of navigating into these different things. Like engagement studio, you can actually go and look from the automation tabs as well. So if you go to the automation tab, you can see engagement studio there as well. Okay, so there are different ways of accessing it. So this is the one of the features you can go ahead and create in Pardot is you can create different type of emails, right? If you want to do A/B testing, you can also have dynamic content added to your emails if you want to. So dynamic content is basically the criteria based content. Okay, if I am interested in, let's say, football, okay, so I'll get content related to football. If if I fill out a form on a website and it has got options interested in different kind of sports if they are mentioned, so I can just do that. If somebody is interested in cricket, they'll get that kind of a content. So based on the criteria, you can have dynamic emails created or the default emails created. I think this is uh, this is a basic one. You can see some dynamic content, these codes, right? So basically, once we render these emails, so they will bring that dynamic content as well. Okay. And so even in content, if I go to the content tab, I'll find different things. I can create a dynamic content for my emails here as well. Okay. So this is where I'm going to create dynamic content. I think this was one. So what is the criteria? I have a field called, there is a custom field, which is a team selection. Now, based on that, I have created this dynamic content. Okay. So if the value is, let's say, default, then it will show this image in my email. If the value is red, it will show this image. If it's yellow, the image will show different image over here. Okay. So these are different criterias, and I can use this dynamic content in my emails. I can just call it there, and once I send it, it will render based on the uh, prospects particular field value, the team selection value. Okay. We can also see forms and form handlers. So these are two very important functionalities or features which are used in different scenarios. Okay, like you cannot use it every time, but yes, there are some limitations of forms, or some limitation for form handlers as well. So you have to decide based on the requirements whether you should go with forms or you should go with form handlers. So everyone knows like forms, right? Like you see on the website, those contact us forms, subscribe forms, all those, basically those are forms. Now, that very important or the main difference between forms and form handlers, okay? The easiest way to understand is, for example, you have a website and you have a contact us form there. Now you have spent a lot of time, doing all that form designing and everything, and you are like, that's the secure form for you, right? And you don't want to make any changes, but what you want is you want that data. When somebody fills out that data form, the data should flow into Pardot. So what you can do is you can actually go and create a form handler, and then from form handler it will give you an iframe code. You just need to embed it behind your form on the website. That's it. So there will be no change to your design or anything, but the only thing is as soon as you fill out the form, the data flows into Pardot. Okay. But for example, there is a requirement, okay, you want to just create a new form on your website and the data should flow into Pardot. Then you can obviously go and create a Pardot form, use that iframe code, embed it on the specific area of your website where you want the Pardot form to render, and then you can use it. Okay, you can have actions created as well. But Pardot forms are more secure than the Pardot form handlers. Okay, Pardot form handlers are not very secure, so you will have to do some additional third party, integrations. I would say, let's say the captcha things, right? So if you want to have those captchas created, you will have to use another platform, or let's say third party, a tool something. But the Pardot forms by default give you the captcha functionalities, and they are more secure than the Pardot form handlers. But yes, depends on the requirement whether you want a form or a form handler. So you can go and create from here itself. Even you can create landing pages. So you can have landing pages created from Pardot itself if you want. Now, we have talked about forms. We have already talked about the list as well. So we know what lists are, whether it's a dynamic or a static list. Let me see if I can. Okay, so you can see these different tabs here, these different options. So dynamic. Okay, so if you see, it's this particular list. These lists are basically dynamic, the ones which are saying yes here, or who have got these paused options here, right? So these are dynamic lists which are created. The other ones are the static list. Okay, now let me see if I can showcase some criteria. What was the criteria? Oh, okay, there is no criteria to this. Let me, okay, I'll just quickly show you something. Okay, so as soon as you click on dynamic list checkbox, it gives you the option to set the rules. If I uncheck, it is only asking me to create list. So if I create list, it will be a static one. If I click on dynamic list, it is going to be a dynamic one. So it's asking me to set the rules. Now I can set different rules related to the prospect. Let's say I've got prospect default field, let's say country. You've got these options, right? So you can put it as India. So as soon as I run these rules, this list will get all the data for prospects who have their country as India. Okay. For now, I'll not save it. So you've got uh, a gist of how these dynamic lists would work. Now I'll move to one of the very important features or functionalities available in Pardot. Okay, so that's the engagement studio, or if people know about customer journey, right? If I talk about marketing cloud, you've got journey builder. Okay, in Pardot you have got something called as engagement studio. This is where you actually go and define your customer journeys. Okay, how the flow should be, and let's say what should happen after you send the first email, or let's say what should happen or what action you need to take when you do you send another email to them, a reminder email? So you have to create a complete flow strategy of how a particular campaign is going to run. So for example, let's create a new one itself. Okay, so it's asking me to give a name to engagement program. Let's say test 134. I can give description. I can, so this is the recipient list. So recipient list could be your static list or the dynamic list which you have in a system. Like I've got these many lists created, right? So I can select any of these. Let's say I select customer, and then I've got a suppression list as well. So if I want to suppress somebody from receiving the email, right, I can just put it. Let's say this is only for customers, but not for the partners. I also have got an option whether I want to send the email during the business hours or just anytime. Okay. Since I'm sending it to customers, so let's say we'll go with business hours only. Now I can select which all business days do I need to send, whether it should be these 5 days or it should be, let's say, only on Mondays. I can do these changes as well. I can select the day start time and the end time. What are my business hours? It's, let's say, morning 10 to 4 should be fine, right? So I can do that. And which particular time zone I need to send it, that's also I can select from here. Then the option here is allow prospects to enter program more than once. So this is basically whether once your program ends, right? Once we create this whole structure or the flow of the email communications or task which we are going to do here. Do you want the prospects once they reach the last step? Do you want them to come back to the first step and go through the program again? If yes, then you select this. If no, then you don't have to do it. Okay. So let's say we don't want, this is a one-time campaign which we are doing. So let's say we don't want them to come back in the same campaign again and start receiving the same emails again and again. So we'll just save it. See, the name is here. Now this is my start. You can see partners and customers, right? The recipient list and the suppression list. You can see this information. This is my last step. Now in between these two steps, what all things I need to put? Let's say these are your options: action, trigger, and rule. Actions are basically you want to do something. Trigger, you're basically listening for a specific event. Rule is you want to evaluate. Okay. So action, let's say I want to send an email. Let this be my first step. Let's say I do a hello world. This is just an example. Okay. So what's going to happen as soon as my prospects enter this program, they will receive an email. Now what after email? Shall I end this program or do I need to add some event here, or do I need to check for any specific criteria, or let's say a trigger, right? Let's say I want to see whether they've opened my email or not. So we'll just for now we'll just wait for, like in journeys you specify, okay, let's say today I'm sending an email, let's wait for 7 days and check whether they are going to open my email or not. Okay. Now how this is going to run? So this is uh, let me just show you a test here. Okay. Now what's going to happen is you can see the date and date today's date. I begin the test. What's going to happen? This. So this is my flow. You can see the logs here. So what's happening is these prospects entered my this particular engagement program. They received the email. You can see all this information. I can expand here. They received the email on the 29th. Okay. Email was sent, and because since we have selected the business days, right, that's the reason it's a Monday, right? They're only sending it on Mondays, so they're receiving it on 29th. Okay. Now it's asking me, like, it's waiting for 7 days. Now it's asking, what do you want, whether you have opened it after 7 days or not. Let's say if I do a yes, it's going to end. And if I would have, let's say, done a no also, let's say we'll just add another step here just to be a little bit clear. Okay, now let's test this. So anyone who opens my first email should receive a follow-up email. Okay. If I do a yes, they will receive a second email after 7 days. You can see these dates as well. Okay. The second email was sent on 6th of May, right? So this is, and on 6th of May itself, after sending the second email, The program ends for those prospects who open my first email. Now, if I want to recheck this, what's going to happen for those who don't open my email? I send them the first email. They are on this particular step. If I say no, they are directly out of the program. So you can actually customize this. You can make it as complex as you want. You can keep it as simple as you want. So once you are done creating these programs, you can just go ahead and do a bit of testing as well. It's not sending live emails right now. It's just showing you the path. Okay, that this is what's going to happen. If you select a yes, this is going to happen. If you select a no, this is going to happen. Okay, so you can create as complex you know journeys or engagement program you can. Okay, so it's up to you how complex you want to create or how easy you want to create. You can see the logs, what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. You can see all these dates coming up here, right? So this is your engagement studio. You can add multiple things. You've got you can even uh, add them to a different list if you want. If you want to change this person, the prospects who see, my prospects are in partner list right now. Okay, uh, for example, those who are not opening my first email, let's move them to, for example, a partners one. Okay, sorry, the customer one, which is we are suppressing. So basically, this is what's going to happen next time when they come here. These if I run this campaign or the program once again in future, what's going to happen? Those who did not open this email, the first email, right now, they are a part of my customer list, which I'm using as a suppression list, which means I'm not bothering them again. Okay, so now I'm refining my database. Okay, these are my genuine ones. Okay, I'm just refining them. Then I'll try to do the conversions, because I don't want to waste my time with those prospects who are not interested, right? So I'm just refining my database here. Basically, I'm nurturing them, trying to understand what or who is actually interested in my products or whatever services I'm providing. Okay, so you can create as complex as you want. So this is an example of a engagement studio. Okay, now I think one of the very important reports which is readily available in your Pardot instance. There are multiple reports available, but I think one of the important one is the life cycle report, which looks very good as well, as far as the structure is concerned. And on the in this report, you can actually see how many new visitors were there. You can see the prospects. We did talk about MQLs, marketing qualified leads, sales qualified leads, whether these opportunities were won or lost, right? You can see all this detail. And here you can also see how much time it took for a visitor to become a prospect, from a prospect to MQL. Okay, how this is going to help you. See, from a visitor to prospect, it's taking me 17.6 hours, but the next step is there is no data from prospect to MQL or MQL to SQL. So basically now my analysis is that something is wrong, or it's taking a long time for me to convert a prospect to a marketing qualified lead, which means I can actually focus on this piece of work when I'm working or doing some marketing strategy or consulting, right? If I see, okay, there is no data available, which means there is something missing, we need to improve on. Okay, this is the insight or analysis which you can do. Because if you don't have a prospect to MQL, obviously will not have these data available as well. So my visitor to prospect is done in like a day's time. But what about this data? I'm not able to, convert my prospect to a marketing qualified, which means I'm losing out on a lot of things, right? Because in the end, what's important for us is the opportunities which we have won. So if I don't have any, uh, you know, revenue getting generated, if you look at the revenue, that's zero, right? That's nobody likes this data, right? So you can actually analyze where you want to improve or what thing you should, focus more on. Okay, where you are spending more time. Let's say, for example, if some data was here, let's say 5 days or 10 days. Okay, that's a lot of time, right? So obviously we need to reduce that time as well, because we need to get this thing sorted. So you can actually go and analyze all this information. So this is a very good report which is uh, already available in your Pardot instance, which gets generated, keeps on getting generated every time the data is updated. Okay. Yeah. So this is basically, these are basically the important features or functionalities which I wanted to showcase for today's session. But there are many other features or functionalities already. There are a lot of features available, but yeah, that's going to take a lot of time. So these are like the most important ones, or let's say if you are starting with Pardot, right? So these are something I think everyone usually focus on. You should know how to create. You should know what segmentation is, what's a prospect. Then you need to know about forms, form handlers. How do you create emails? How do you create engagement studios, or what engagement studios are? And if somebody wants to understand or analyze some reports, you can obviously explore the reports section as well. So this is like the very important few tasks if somebody is starting with Pardot. But yes, if you are at a very intermediate or let's say an advanced level, of course there are many things which you can actually go and explore and the Pardot instance. Okay. So I'll just quickly bring up the screen presentation once again. Okay, so since we are done with the demo part, now I think a lot of you might have already been working on Salesforce, or those who are starting with Salesforce or the marketing path, right? So I have got some information from Trailer. I think that's available for everyone. So there are two different platforms as we talked about: Salesforce Marketing Cloud and Marketing Cloud Accounting. That's Pardot, right? So we've got different certifications as well. So if
Hello.
hello,
Prasant bro, your slide is in demo. That can you change in another slide?
you want me to go
Yes,
back to the
yes, yes, it is visible now. Thank you.
okay. Okay. So we have got two parts of marketing automation platforms and basically the Salesforce ecosystem. One is the marketing cloud, the other is the Pardot or the marketing cloud account engagement. Now, there are different certifications. If I talk about marketing cloud, you have got four different certifications. One is the marketing cloud email specialist, you've got marketing cloud administrator, you've got marketing cloud developer, and then you've got a marketing cloud consultant. But in Pardot, you've got two certifications for now. That's Pardot Specialist and the Pardot Consultant. Now, who should go with which particular certification, or how do you select your path here? So, Marketing Cloud is quite vast. Okay, so it's like an ocean, to be very honest. Okay, whereas Pardot is mostly limited to your emails. You can do a lot of you know other customizations, but that's something going to be on a custom site, right? So yeah, you have got these certificates. So if I talk about marketing cloud, the very let's say entry level certifications are marketing cloud email specialist, which mostly focuses on your email part, right, in the marketing cloud instance. Okay, so if you've worked a bit on marketing cloud, if you know about marketing cloud a little bit, let's say the email studio, okay, so or how what are the best practices and all, so you can actually go through these trailheads and just do the certification. Then you've got Marketing Cloud Admin, which mostly focuses on the setup of Marketing Cloud. Okay, so this is for that particular purpose. Then you've got Marketing Cloud Developer. So this is when you are into development, right? You've got AMP script, you've got JSS experience, everything, right? So that is where you can actually learn development and actually work on the this particular certification. That's the Marketing Cloud Developer certification. And the last one is the consultant. So in consultant, you get to understand, okay, as a consultant, you will be given scenarios. How do you go about those scenarios? That's where for the marketing cloud consultant certification. Then you have got the Pardot certificate. These are two of the certifications available. Specialist is very basic certification the Pardot specialist. That's straightforward certification. You just need to know about the platform. Okay, what all features are there? What are the differences between these features? How this works and how that works, right? So you can go through the Pardot specialist. Once you have this certification, then you should go for the consult. You will be eligible for the consultant one, because this certification is again going to be a scenario based, like in Marketing Cloud. You have Pardot consultant, right? So this is going to be scenario based questions you will get. So, uh, so I would suggest, if anyone is looking for getting any certification in the marketing space, start with the specialist one, either Marketing Cloud email specialist or Pardot specialist. Then, of course, move ahead and level up with different certifications and get as many certifications as possible. Yeah. So this is basically the learning path, and there is a lot of material on the Trailhead itself. I think with all the certification, there are trail mixes available now. So those trail mixes are, I think, more than enough. Or the other is, you can always go and look for the Salesforce help documents. Those are more than enough to get any of the certifications done. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it from my side. If anyone has got any questions, let me know.
There is two questions.
Okay, yeah.
Is Commerce Cloud is B2C or B2B?
Commerce Cloud. This is not my expertise, the Commerce Cloud, to be very honest.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, because that's a different platform altogether, right?
yes.
So, as far as I know about Commerce Cloud, I think that's more on the e-commerce side, right? So, it's something like Amazon or something. These bigger companies, my enterprise level companies or customers do use it. They have their own sites created if they want to sell products, but that's not related to marketing side right now. Yeah.
There is another one question. What is
Yeah.
A/B testing?
Okay, so A/B testing is basically you're creating different versions of your, let's say, emails, right? For example, uh, I have got two or three different variations of my emails. Okay, let's say in one of the emails, just for an example, right? I've got a hero image, then I have got a content block, okay, where I've added some text. Then I have given a CTA, and then there is a, at the bottom, I've got a footer. Okay, this is, let's say, version A. Then I have created another version just to see which email would perform better out of both the two emails, right? Okay. In the other version of the email, I have got a hero image. I have got that same text content, but I don't have a CTA. But then again, I have a footer. Okay. So the only difference is one has got a CTA, the other has not got a CTA. Okay. Now I want to test this email, that which one would perform better, so that I can send it to maximum audience or maximum target customers. Okay, so this is how you do it. You create two different versions, test them out based on the results, whether it's you want to check whether you had the most opens on, let's say, the one which had CTA or not, or whether there were more clicks on the email which had CTA or not. If the whichever email out of these two performs better, you send it to the remaining audience.
Thank you. There is one more question.
Yeah.
For practicing, what options are available to access the trial instance of product? There is any access currently?
For Pardot.
Yes, yes. He is asking
Okay.
the trial instance.
Okay. I think if you are working for a Salesforce partner company, right, then you should be able to get access to Pardot instance. Okay. If you are in a non-partner company, then I don't think it's possible to get access, as far as I know. Because for partners, of course, you get the access to you can get access to Pardot. You can obviously reach out to let's say the account executives or whosoever is the person point of contact for you guys. But apart from this, there is like no free org or trial org available. Like for, let's say, for the CRM or the Sales Cloud, you can just go in your trailer and create those orgs. That kind of a thing is not available on the Pardot side for now.
There is one other question, one more question. Is there any option to track visitors without filling the details?
No, see, if you don't have the information, how will you get to know like who that person is, right? So, for example, if I am on any of the websites, right? Let's say if I open any of the websites, nobody will get to know, okay, whether who that person was who was on my website. The information you can get is, let's say, you might be able to capture my IP address, but that's not getting you anywhere, right? Getting the IP address information, you will not get to know, okay, this is the IP address which Prashant is using, because today I'm using, maybe that gets changed, and some later on I'm on a different IP address, right? So without getting any of the BI information, it's not possible. You cannot go and track any person. Okay, this is, let's say, this person is Prashant, or this person is John, or this person is somebody else, right? So that's not possible. You need to have at least the basic details, the name of the person, the email address or phone number, so that you can reach out to them. You can track them. Okay, I have got this name, I've got this email, this phone number, and I can communicate to them, let's say, through an email or an SMS to get the information required.
Okay, thank you for answering all the questions. There is no other questions. Thank you for giving time.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone. Thanks
you
for
so much.
joining.